I wrote a song to my daughter, and I want to share with you how I did that. My name is Caleb Beachy. I'm a high school math teacher, and I wrote a song to my daughter, and just want to share a little bit with how I did that. The song is out. It's called Staring at a Miracle. You can listen to it on all platforms. You can watch a YouTube video, music video on this channel as well. So if you have any desire to follow along my journey, make sure you hit subscribe as I continue making music as a hobby and something that I enjoy doing, creating songs that are special to me. So I started with this idea. I was hanging out with my daughter. She was sitting on our bed and she was a couple months old. We were playing, and I remember there was a distinct moment where she kind of turned around and looked at me and just smiled really big. And I remember in that moment, this phrase, staring at a miracle, came to my mind, and just how beautiful kids are and just how beautiful human life is. And I just remember in that moment thinking, like, she's a miracle. And I felt pretty inspired in that moment, so I quick grabbed my guitar and I quick grabbed my phone to do some voice memos, and had this melody that came into my head. And really the only thing from this first voice memo that stuck that's actually in the song is that phrase, staring at a miracle. Everything else from this first voice memo got changed. Starting to write this song and shape this song, and at that same time my wife and I were planning a trip that summer to go to Yellowstone with my daughter. And I remember thinking like being super excited about that trip. But I remember thinking through that whole process that sometimes we're looking to go to these grand places. We think about like the 7 wonders of the world, and we want to go to all these places, which are amazing. We love traveling. But sometimes the most wonderful things in our lives are right in front of us. The first part of the chorus says, I don't have to cross the world to see the wonders in life. But this phrase kind of started being established in the song that you don't have to do those things to see the wonderful things in life. Started putting music to it. A lot of this song started with just voice memos, no instruments necessarily. The one day I remember having a guitar, but the other parts would be like when I'm driving to school, when I'm driving out and about, just singing melodies and seeing what melodies kind of stuck. I had a really hard time with the verses. I actually went a number of different directions with the verses before. Really, it was in about November that I actually started going the direction that I went with the verses. I actually started going with that direction, and it's so interesting. I have about 25 voice memos of this song from going from March to January. So I got to the point where I had a couple of verses that I really liked, a chorus that I liked, but I didn't have a bridge. And so I didn't want to force anything because I was really liking the direction of the song. So I thought, okay, we'll just have a couple of verses and a chorus, and that's the song. So I reached out to my good friend Chris, and I asked him, I said, because it's special to me, I feel like it needs like a piano part. I primarily play acoustic guitar. So I reached out to my friend and I said, hey, I think this song should actually be piano driven. Do you have any interest in like listening to the song and maybe adding a piano part that would be like the main instrument? So I went to do a rough recording of the song so I could send it over to my friend Chris. And as I was doing a rough recording, this idea of saying a couple specific moments that I really enjoy about my daughter, love about my daughter, came to my mind with the melody. And as I was recording it, I was like, oh, I love this idea. So I quick kind of worked through a couple things, ended up sending the recording to my friend a little bit later. And so I added the bridge that talks about the way that she laughs, the way that she looks out the window when I come home from work. So I felt like the bridge added value, which I didn't want to put a bridge in there if it was just going to be for the sake of having a bridge. I wanted a bridge that would actually add to the song, and I feel like it really does break up the song and add something a little bit unique to the song. I sent it over to him, and what he sent back just absolutely blew my mind. And he didn't just send back a piano part, he actually had a bunch of different ideas for the song and added several different instruments. I knew personally I could only take the song so far, and it was something that meant a lot to me, this song, my relationship with my daughter. I heard the instrumental track that Chris sent back to me for the first time. I cried. I got emotional. I was gonna be able to produce a song, the type of song that I'd be like proud of, but also something that still means a lot. And so if I've learned anything through this process is one, surround yourself with people who musically are better than you, that push you further. But I'd say on the flip side also, be the type of person that you can bring value to other people's creations. Be the type of person that not only looks for people to add value to your stuff, but you're willing and you're looking to add values to other people. So I got the instrumental back, super pumped about it. Made a couple tweaks to actually sing the melody and a couple different things. And then Chris came over, we recorded vocals. He mixed it for me, which was awesome, and then we sent it off to get mastered. So if you haven't listened to the song, feel free to check it out. It's called Staring at a Miracle. It's just a really special song for me that I wrote to my daughter. So if you have any other interest in following along my journey as I write songs as a hobby, I don't put out a ton of content. I don't have the time to write a ton of music, but every so often I like to write a song, especially something that means a lot to me. And so I hope you enjoy. Make sure you hit subscribe if you feel like you'd like this content.